لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا.
Okay, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, welcome to one more session of our Revert class every Tuesday, 7 p.m. UK time. Today, inshallah, we will be learning two verses of the Quran, Surah Baqarah, which is the second surah of the Quran, verses 255 and 256. And if I may request one of the volunteers, please go ahead. Just slightly louder, Yasmin, so that they can hear it.
There shall be no compulsion in
No, 255. 255.
O God, there is no deity except Him, the ever-living, the sustainer of all existence. Neither drowsiness overtakes Him nor sleep. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. Who is it that can intercept with Him except by His permission? He knows what is presently before them and what will be after them, and they encompass not a thing of His knowledge except for what He wills. His courtesy is sent over the heavens and the earth, and their preservation tries Him not, and He is most high, most great. There shall be no compulsion in acceptance of the religion. The right course has become clear from the wrong, so whoever disbelieves in
Taghut
and believes in God has grasped the most trustworthy handhold with no break in it, and God is all hearing and all knowing.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So what we're reading today or learning today is called the Ayat al-Kursi. Kursi means the chair, basically. Yeah, but we'll explain in detail what that means. This is a very common verse. This is considered to be one of the most important verses of Surah Baqarah. And Muslims throughout the world, because most of them do not learn the meaning of the Quran, and they only want to memorize without understanding, they believe that this takes away the jinn. So Ayat al-Kursi, you said to the majority of the Muslims, say, well, jinn goes away, and that's the Ayat al-Kursi. And you ask them, what does it mean? So, I don't know what it means, but jinn goes away anyway. So as long as the jinn goes away, they're happy with it. So, but that's the, this ayah is the most fundamental ayah of not just Surah Baqarah, but of the Quran. Why is that most fundamental? Because in this verse, one of the most fundamental things that a person has to know about Islam has been introduced. And that is, who is Allah? When we talk about God, who are we talking about? What do we mean when we say God? And so many different religions that have been created in this world, what are their fallacies? Where do they go wrong? And this is the fundamental ayah which describes the qualities of Allah and describes who is this God that you believe in. So it starts by saying, Allah, Allah, the God, is the one, La ilaha illa. Except Him, there is no other God. There is no other deity. What does that mean? There is no other deity. Meaning, He is one and the only one. He is one and unique, as the Quran teaches us. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Ahad and wahid are two different things. Wahid is the Arabic word which means one. Ahad means uniquely one, meaning the only one. So there is nothing like Him. This is why he's mentioning over here, Allahu la ilaha illa. He is the one who is uniquely one. Otherwise, you are also one and I am also one. There is no other copy of you and me. We are also one in our uniqueness. But this Allah, this God which we are talking about, is uniquely one, meaning there is nobody, nothing that can be compared to Him. See, when we talk about one another or anything else, human mind works by examples. We always give examples of one another. Oh, that looks like this. I want to tell you about that thing, and that looks like this. Even when we compare one another, we say, oh, that looks like my niece, or that looks like my cousin. So we have comparison. Allah says, you will find no comparison. So when you are looking at your creator, you cannot have a comparison. Why? Because the creation, that is us, we cannot comprehend the creator. So when we don't have comprehension of that level, we won't be able to have any comparison. Huwa al-Hayyul Qayyum. Second, so first is there is no comparison. There is nobody like him. Second, Hayyul Qayyum. He is always alive, has always been alive. Qayyum. Qayyum means somebody who is self-perpetuating and who keeps everything going. So he is alive, he has always been alive, he is never going to die, and he is self-perpetuating. He doesn't need anything to keep him going. We, if we starve for a few days without water, without food, will die because we cannot self-perpetuate. There is nothing in this world that we know of that can self-perpetuate. Everything is dependent on something as their food or drink or oxygen or whatever it is. Yeah? We can't survive. Whereas Allah is telling us, this God that Quran has introduced, or that has always been introduced through the books by previous prophets, is the one about whom there is no comparison. You cannot give a comparison. You cannot give an example. Oh, God is like this. You can't, because there isn't one. And number two, he's always been alive, and he will always be there. He's Qa'im. Qa'im or Qayyum means somebody who is self-perpetuating, and everything else is kept going by him. Without him, nothing else will be able to continue, to stay in their state. La ta'khuzuhu sinatun wala nawm. Now, first question answered that there's no example, so I can't give an example of God. Second question answered, he's always been there, and he is the one who doesn't need anything to survive or to sustain, but he sustains everything. Now the second question comes to mind, does he get tired by doing that? What kind of energy does he have? What level of energy does he have? Allah says, La ta'khuzuhu sinatun wala nawm. Neither any slumber nor the sleep overtakes him. He does not need to sleep. He does not need to rest, which means he does not need any help from anybody. Which means that all those ideas which people have created in their mind about God, that somebody is going to help us to come closer to God, or somebody is going to intercede on our behalf, they're all gone because he doesn't need anybody. And neither slumber nor sleep overtakes him at any point, so he doesn't get tired. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. Whatever is in the heavens and on the earth, whatever is in the cosmos, whatever you see in the constellations, all these galaxies, an unfathomable amount of millions and trillions of galaxies, is Allah's, belongs to Allah. And whatever is on this earth as well, that also belongs to this creator. So he is the one who has created, he is the one who is sustaining everything, and he is the one who is owning it. He is the owner of it. Man zallazi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'izni. Who has the courage, or who can dare to intercede in his presence, except by his own leave, if he allows somebody? And Quran has described this allowing of Allah in so many other verses, where he says he will only allow it for certain people, and he will only accept it for certain, which Allah wants. So nobody can force intercession, because majority of the religions that worship other lesser gods, they worship them in the belief that they will intercede, that these people somehow have got a special status with God, and they will definitely save us. And Quran says that is an absolute fallacy, that there is nothing like that. Nobody in the presence of God would even, Quran says, would even be able to move their lips without being allowed by God. let alone intercede on anybody's behalf. So what this verse does basically, it completely takes you away from all forms of false worship and false thoughts about somebody helping, and brings you to the one supreme God who has full authority, full power, everlasting, never getting tired, and says, come to me. Why are you worrying about, I'm going to worship this, I'm going to have this belief, such and such is going to intercede. If I believe in something, that's going to help me. He says, no, come to God directly. I am your creator. You establish a relationship directly with me. And these are my qualities. These are my qualities. And you come to me. You have a problem, you come to me. You don't go to anyone else. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُمْ. Allah knows whatever is between their hands, this is the terminology, which means whatever is happened before or what is going to happen. Past, present, future. So he has knowledge of past, present, and future. So how does he have knowledge of future? Past and present we understand very easily these days in the age of digital technology. You press a button, you record everything. And we also have knowledge of so many things in the past. How does he have knowledge of the future? Because he is Al-Alim. For him, it is very easy to understand what choices we will make. For him, it's very easy for him to know what choices we will. He has given us the choice, but he knows what choices we'll make. He has not forced that choice upon us. There's a difference between somebody forcing the choice on us and somebody knowing what choice I'll make. The easiest way to understand that is, for example, these days we search engines, yeah? If, say, for example, somebody who is watching you, and there is a lot of people watching you these days on these sites and everything. So if somebody is watching you and you are hitting a button on the Google search or whatever search engine you're using, and then you type cars, for example, yeah? He knows exactly that when you typed cars, then you'll have to go to a particular server where the information is. So he knows the next button will go here, the third will go here, the fourth will go here, and the information will pass on through over here. You don't know that, but he knows that. How does he know that? Because he has the knowledge that you are looking for cars. Cars are stored in this server at this level, and these are the areas where the data will go. Very simple. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is way, way supreme than human beings. So he knows exactly what decision I'm going to make and what decisions are going, because can you imagine if God didn't know that? So in his whole universe, if he didn't know what's going to happen in the next 10 seconds, what kind of a creator would he be? What kind of controller would he be? He will have no control over things. So he has that knowledge, but we make those choices. He doesn't force any choice on us. So he says, I know exactly what's happened in the past. I know exactly what's going to happen in the future. So if you have to do something, do it for the sake of Allah, because he knows what's going to happen. He knows what is destined for you. He knows what you're going to get, and he knows how much you're going to get. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. And humans, Allah said, this is a beautiful verse again, a part of the verse, where he says, nobody gets any knowledge of what Allah knows, except إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ, except what he wants people to know. And this is an amazing historical fact. If you look at throughout human history, at different times, humans got small amounts of knowledge. They never had all information. Look at the technology today. I mean, when you talk about these smartphones and smart technology, people find it hard to believe that as recently as 2005, we did not have smartphones. And it's baffling. So, wow, really? In 2005, we didn't have smartphones, and now you can't live without smartphones or smart technology now. It's only been 15, 16 years. Amazing. And yet, 2005, nobody even knows what this word means. Go back 100 years. What nonsense are you talking about? You're going to see somebody on your hand, in the palm of your hand? That's wizardry. That's magic. It doesn't happen in real world. So that knowledge has trickled down. And Allah says, Nobody knows the knowledge that Allah has, but you will know the knowledge slowly, only what Allah wants you to. There is a mention in the Quran about the Queen of Sheba with Sulaiman alayhi salam, Prophet Solomon. And when he invited Queen of Sheba, the Quran says he invited her to have a chat with him about God and the Creator. And he had this magnificent throne of hers. And he wanted to outsmart her and to make her understand the level of knowledge and technology, so to say, that Allah has given him. And he asked his people in his court, I want that throne brought over here before she reaches over here. And one of the jinns, because he had got control over jinns as well, said, yeah, I'll be able to bring it in a few seconds or something like that. And the Quran says that one of the persons, one of the human, said, and the Quran says he had the knowledge of kitab. Kitab means laws. Kitab doesn't mean just book. Kitab means laws. One person who had the knowledge of the laws of nature, said, I'm going to bring it before you blink your eye. And he did. So transpondence, transportation through transpondence, at that time, as Quran is describing at the time of Sulaiman, he had the knowledge how to transpond things within a second. And we don't have that knowledge as yet. We might have in future. But what I'm trying to say, that this ayah of the Quran, وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. Allah does not give his knowledge. Nobody can encompass his knowledge, of course, but he gives small amounts. It trickles down to humans, and then they can perform amazing works with that knowledge. Allah has supreme knowledge, and nobody can reach that level. وَسِيَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Kursi means kingdom. Kursi basically means throne. But it's not a throne. His throne, he's sitting on a throne. He's not like creation that he's going to be sitting on something. وَسِيَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. His kingdom, his authority is over all the heavens. Everywhere he is the king. He is the king. That's his kingdom. وَلَا يَعُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. And it doesn't tire him to protect and preserve all these things. It doesn't even tire him, let alone sleep or anything. وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ. And he's the greatest and the highest and the most perfect. So this is the ayah 255, known as the Ayat al-Kursi, which describes the qualities of the Creator. This is the Creator that we are asked to have a relationship. How strong, how perfect, and how amazing this Creator is. And we are being asked to get that hold. The next verse mentions that when you understand this Creator, when you understand these qualities of the Creator, then you'll be able to think to yourself, why am I wasting my time by holding on to some really miniature things? I should be holding on to this most powerful thing. The next verse, Allah continues, says, لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي. After the clarification of this is your Creator, this is the Quran, this is the Quranic description of God, Allah says, there is no compulsion at all. You cannot force anybody to accept Islam. And Allah doesn't want anybody to be forcefully asked, no, you have to accept Islam. No. However, قد تبين الرشد من الغي. The Quran has clearly distinguished between what is right and between what is wrong. So anybody who wants to understand the Creator, anybody who wants to understand, okay, what is the Creator? What God are you describing? And what is right and what is wrong? Just read the Quran. You don't need to go to any imam or priest or anybody else. All you need to look at is the book of Allah, your Quran. Open it, and قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ الرُّشْدُ مِنَ الْغَيِّ. The truth and the falsehood, the right and the wrong, have been, when it says قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ, means absolutely distinguished. Without a shadow of doubt, they have been distinguished in the Quran. And فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى لَا انْفِصَامَ. Beautiful description, that Now, after this description of God, after the understanding of the Creator, after understanding that you're not forced, you have to take it, you have to take your Shahada willfully with your own choice, and after everything has been clearly distinguished in the Quran, whoever now leaves behind Taghut. What is Taghut? Taghut is a Quranic term. Tagha comes from Tagha, meaning somebody who crosses the boundary, somebody who crosses the red line. So anybody who crosses the red lines is basically shaitan. So Allah says, so whoever turns away from the path of Satan and believes in this God, which we're talking about, these qualities of God, فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْأُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى لَا انْفِصَامَ. He or she has got hold of such a strong handle or a rope that will never ever break. Never ever it will. So this relationship which Allah is mentioning over here is a very strong relationship, because He is so powerful and He has got everything that we need to sustain, to survive, to thrive. And not only that, the next life, which is the real purpose of us being tested in this world, that if we prove ourselves worthy in this world by acting in a manner which is not following the shaitan or the taghut, then we are promised an everlasting life in the hereafter. Because the whole purpose of this dunya, of our life in this world, is a test. That are you going to be able to prove yourself worthy of Jannah, the paradise, the everlasting life, or not? And Allah says, for that, to be able to reach there, your most strong handhold, or the rope is this Allah. And the only way to have that rope, because we can't physically contact Allah, is His book, is His last and final testament, which is the Quran. And if you hold on to this, this is your lanfisam alaha. This is the one that's handle hold, which is never going to break. This is the rope of Allah. Rope of Allah is this book. Wallahu Sami'un Aleem, and Allah hears everything. Meaning, whatever you're thinking, whatever your doubts may be, whatever your thought processes may be, wherever you may be in your journey towards your Creator, He knows that. Be rest assured He knows that. Only thing you have to do is you have to take a sincere step towards the Creator. He knows everything. He hears everything. He will hear your voice, and He will guide you through it, and He will bring you to truth. See? So these two verses of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, 255 and 256, they jointly describe Allah, describe Islam, and the process as well. This is the beauty of the Quran. It doesn't leave the process out. A lot of the time people say, what's the process then? The process is given over there. You come to Allah, you keep a hold of this handle, and this handle is so strong that it's not going to break. You don't have to worry about it. Once you grab hold of this rope, it will never ever break. So Jazakallah khairan everybody for being with us tonight. And inshallah we'll have to go off. Islamic Outreach Project does the dawah stalls up and down the country, inshallah. Please support us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد